What's up guys, Mike here, Building for Life, and today we're talking about the best physiques in film. Over the years, the big screen has graced us with some of the best physiques known to mankind, and they will live on forever till the end of time. The actors in these films took extreme measures to get these physiques, restrictive diets, intense training methods, all for our entertainment.
Are you not entertained?
But before we get into my top 5, I do have a few honorable mentions that are worth noting, just for the sheer epicness of their transformation. The first one is Jake Gyllenhaal in Southpaw. His previous role in Nightcrawler, where he basically looked emaciated and he was a sociopath and just like a dark, gritty character. Going from that to the chiseled, ripped look in Southpaw, it's a transformation worth noting. We also have Chris Pratt, the fat guy from Parks and Rec. Who would have guessed the fat guy from Parks and Rec would become a leading man in the Marvel franchise? And I also want to mention Michael B. Jordan's role in Creed. Those are my honorable mentions, but let's get right into this top 5 list. Coming in at number 5 is Hugh Jackman in The Wolverine. When you say the name Wolverine, it's almost synonymous with Hugh Jackman. It's such an iconic character, and he plays it so well. He's leaving big shoes to fill for any actor if they choose to recast the role. If you look back to the first X-Men movie, his physique is not anywhere near as close as we see in the later films. We know how hard this guy trains. We know the kind of, I'm sure you've seen footage of him in the gym, and you know the kind of diet that he stuck to, of grilled chicken breasts and protein shakes. When you look at his physique in the Wolverine movie, the guy is absolutely shredded, so that's why he had to be on my list, and he comes in at number 5. Coming in at number 4 is The Rock in the Fast and Furious franchise. This is a franchise that should have ended many movies ago, but it still had some life left in it. And now, even with the passing of Paul Walker, many could argue why even continue the series. But when you have a character like Hobbs, you just want to see more of that guy. I would be totally open to a spin-off series just focusing on his character. He's such a likable, badass dude. You just want to see more of him. And The Rock has one of the greatest physiques right now in the business. We know this guy trains like a beast. He eats over 5,000 calories a day, and not the fun kind of calories, but grilled chicken breast, fish, brown rice, protein shakes. I mean, just thinking about consuming that many of that kind of calories just makes my stomach hurt. Absolutely want to see more of this guy. I would like to see The Rock kind of branch out away from the more family-friendly films. I'd like to see him in more of like an 80s style, rated R kind of action film where he's just like ripping throats and snapping necks. Just because of his amazing physique, his personality, his likability, he had to be on my list. Okay, coming in at number 3 is a totally different kind of actor, different kind of physique, but it's Bruce Lee in Enter the Dragon. Bruce Lee is synonymous with martial arts. He paved the way for future martial artists like Jet Li, Jackie Chan, to make a name for themselves in the business. And at a lean 135 pounds, this guy is completely shredded. He's got every muscle developed, not an ounce of fat on him. He's choreographed some of the best fighting scenes in film that other filmmakers have borrowed and referenced. For example, Quentin Tarantino in Kill Bill using the yellow jumpsuit from Game of Death. He's got the strength and speed of someone far bigger than him. So he absolutely had to be on my list, and he comes in at number 3. Okay, the last 2 choices were really hard to decide who would be number 1. It's something I've agonized over for a long time. And it's something I'll probably come back to this video and decide that I was wrong, but I gotta make a decision. So coming in at number 2 is Sylvester Stallone in Rocky IV. The Rocky franchise is one of my favorite franchises of all time. It's one of the most inspirational movies that you'll ever see. And the character of Stallone coming from nothing and becoming the champion is such an inspirational story. Similar to Hugh Jackman in The Wolverine, if you go back and watch the first Rocky movie, his physique is not developed the way it is in the later films. He looks soft, he's not cut. So when you compare that to Rocky IV, the guy is absolutely shredded. And you start seeing this in Rocky III, although I think that's one of the weaker films of the series. But by the time we get to Rocky IV, the guy is absolutely shredded. He's at his leanest, lightest. He's smaller than he was in Rocky I, but he looks bigger because he's so much more lean. And yeah, I know it's not the best movie in the series. It's a little corny. It's basically one big training montage, but I dare you to watch that movie and not want to hit the gym and drink some raw eggs and run down the streets and up some stairs with some kids following you. Alright, and coming in at number 1 is probably no surprise to anyone that knows me, but it's Arnold Schwarzenegger in Predator. Now I know that his role as Dutch in Predator is not the most iconic role that he's ever played, but he's definitely in better shape, I think, in that film than many of his other movies, and you also see more of his physique, you know, as he's fighting the Predator, whereas in Terminator, you know, the Terminator may be a more iconic role, but you don't see much of his physique because he's usually wearing like a leather jacket or jeans or something like that. To me, it is an iconic role, and it's one of the toughest foes that he's had to face in film. It's man against monster. It's a survival movie. It's a horror movie. It's a sci-fi movie. It's so many different things. Today, it's number 1. This was such a hard decision for me because I'm a huge fan of Rocky and that character, so to give him number 2, I just know that probably a week from now I'm going to decide that it should have been reversed. But that's it, guys. That's my top 5. Let me know down below what your top 5 is. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.